Guess what came in the mail today? What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and in this video I'm happy to announce that I finally got my Robinhood debit card. Let me put it up here. Maybe it won't focus, but I finally got my Robinhood debit card. It took me about 3 or 4 months of waiting for this thing. If you don't know what the Robinhood debit card is, or you're just interested in seeing more about the card, stay tuned to the end of this video because I will be giving you the 5 things that you need to know once you receive the card and how you can get the card in the first place. So if you want to learn more about exactly how I plan on using the card for myself personally, stick around to the end of this video. I'm sure you have a lot of fun. Let's get started. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Centennial Investor. My name is Anthony McLemore and I am your host. And today's going to be a really good video because I've been waiting on this debit card for a long time. Now, before I get into the details of the card, let me explain for the people who don't know exactly what a Robinhood debit card is. It's actually a cash management card, and so I don't make myself look as stupid as possible, I'm going to pull up a screen recording of exactly what Robinhood's website says and then allow me to do a breakdown of what it says in layman's terms. So let's get into it. So here I am on Robinhood.com and I'm going exactly to the cash management portion of the website. And what it says is that cash management is offered as part of your brokerage account unless you use Robinhood Financial for everyday transactions like investing, spending, and saving. Your uninvested cash is swept to our network of program banks where it starts earning 0.3% annual percentage yield APY, and where cash management you request a customized debit card is offered by Sutton Bank. So that's the basic overview of the debit card. It kind of addresses about 3 of the 5 things I want to talk about in this video, but I do want to go a little bit more in depth so you know exactly what you're getting yourself into when you get this card for yourself. So right now I'm going to give you the top 5 things that you need to know before getting this debit card. The number 1 thing that you need to know is that Robinhood doesn't pay you your interest. So basically, as I said earlier, Robinhood uses your uninvested cash and sweeps it to different banks that offer high percentage rates. And this rate is based solely on the federal funds rate. So whatever the Fed funds rate is paying other banks in terms of interest rate is what you'll be getting. So this APY that you expect to be receiving every single year can fluctuate greatly depending on what the federal funds rate is doing. And at a time as volatile as now, you can expect the federal funds rate to go to 0 at some point, and then you won't be earning any interest. So that's one thing that you need to understand, is that this interest rate is not bound by any kind of contract. It can fluctuate at the federal government's will, and that's pretty much nothing you can do about it. While it is higher than most savings accounts, you have to keep that in mind when thinking about opening an account, because if you want to rely on the interest income from this account, you can be sad some months when your interest earnings are 0. Moving on to the second thing you need to know about the Robinhood debit card is that APY, as you might know, is the annual percentage rate. So even though it says 0.30%, that's not the amount of money that you will be earning per day. That's only the amount of money that you'll be earning annually. So let's do some quick math and divide 0.30 by 365 days, and that means you're earning about 0.08% a day. Now, that is a lot of money. Don't get me wrong. That is very much higher than most savings account, but you can't go into this account expecting to earn 0.3%, and that's just a holy grail of a savings account or a holy grail of a debit account. And then you will be sad once you don't receive the amount of money that you expect to receive. And also, I must go on a quick tangent and say that even though this says a debit card, this is not tied to any bank account. Robinhood is not insured by the FDIC for deposits up to $750,000 like most bank accounts are. Robinhood, in fact, is insured by the SIPC, which insures account up to $250,000. Now, I'm not going to pretend like I knew that off the top of my head because I literally read that right at the bottom of Robinhood.com details page right in the description. And it says exactly, Robinhood Financial LLC is a member of SIPC, which protects securities customers of its members up to $500,000, including $250,000 for claims for cash. And then it goes on to direct you to an explanatory brochure, which I'm not going to do in this video, of course. And the third thing that you need to know about the Robinhood debit card is that it has some pretty strict transaction limits. Now, I don't know what bank you use personally, but my bank pretty much doesn't care how much money I take out of the bank as long as I don't overdraw my account. And with Robinhood, I'm going to pull up a screenshot exactly what it says so I don't get this wrong. But Robinhood says right here on the section 10 of transaction limits that there are limits on the dollar amount of transaction you can make with your card each day and each month. The following list of limits for each transaction type. So you have point of sale purchases with a daily limit of $5,000 and a weekly limit of $15,000. And your ATM withdrawals has a daily limit of $1,010 and a weekly limit of $5,000. Now, to me, this is personally is very, very restricting. Now, I'm not the type of person to use cash anyway, but if I wanted to have the option to, I would like to withdraw more than $1,000 from my bank account and not be penalized for it. Now, I don't know what they would do if you tried to withdraw more than $1,000. I can assume that they would just reject the transaction altogether, but this seems to be very, very restricted in terms of how much money you can take out of your bank account. So that's one of the biggest drawbacks of this debit card, and that's something that I really don't like about it, as I don't know why they would have a transaction limit. I think the reason that they have this transaction limit is that the funds are not actually kept in Robinhood. They're kept in another bank. So in order for you to get those funds, they have to transfer them back to Robinhood to give them to you. And that just takes a whole lot of movement of funds. And I think the transaction limit allows them to keep themselves safe in this regard. Moving on to the fourth thing that you need to know before getting a Robinhood debit card are the fees that are associated with this card. So I spent a little bit of time reading through these terms and agreements just so I can make this video for you guys. So I'm going to pull up another screenshot from the terms and agreements so you can read through them with me. And under section 18, it says under fees, we will not charge you any fees for the initial issuance or use of the card. However, certain third-party fees may apply as further described herein. I don't want to bore you with this video, but it then goes on to talk about if you use any other kind of ATM other than the ones that are approved by Robinhood, that you may be assessed some kind of fee, which is pretty normal. And I do have to say that this is a pretty low fee debit card as far as what ATMs you can use. From what I read recently, you have about 75,000 ATMs that you can choose from as far as withdrawing money penalty free or fee free. And I think that's pretty incredible because the bank that I use now, which is a military bank, only has a select number of ATMs around. And I find myself always having to go to a different ATM and paying a $5 fee just to withdraw money. And the last thing I want to talk about the Robinhood debit card that you must know before opening an account is when you're actually paid your interest payment. Now, this is by far one of the coolest features of this account because of Robinhood. As I pull it up on my phone now, you actually get your interest payment in real time and it's paid out to you at the end of each month. So what I mean by that, I don't have a lot of uninvested cash in my portfolio right now. You can see my portfolio is worth about $390, but the uninvested cash is about $14. So I'm not really accruing any interest right now. But if I were, I can see in real time how much interest I was actually accruing. And then I can see my interest payday. So you can see the interest was activated on May 5th and I'm accruing interest now, but my interest payday is until May 29th. So if you had a regular bank account, I think your interest would only be paid to you annually. So you have to wait 12 months before you're able to use that cash. And this is just one of the best features of this card altogether, that it allows you to see your interest in real time. So those are the 5 things that I think you need to know before getting this debit card. Before I end this video, I want to give you a quick overview of what I plan to use this debit card for and if I see it as a beneficial card in the first place. So if you've been following the channel, then you may know that I've been doing a Robinhood versus WeBull challenge with trying to grow a dividend portfolio to $10,000 and a growth portfolio to $10,000 and seeing which portfolio will grow to $10,000 faster. So with that, I've been depositing about $100 to each portfolio per week, but the last 2 weeks I've only been depositing to Robinhood because I'm trying to catch the Robinhood portfolio up to the WeBull portfolio. And for me personally, I could just go ahead and deposit the $400 and only invest it $100 per week, but I honestly think it's just more aesthetic and visually appealing for a viewer and for me to make if I see my account balance actually go up by $100 each week. What I mean by this is that if I go ahead and deposit the $400 to the Robinhood portfolio at the beginning of the month, my Robinhood balance will immediately increase by $400, and whether I invest the money or not, it will still be reflected in the account balance. And me personally, I don't really like that because I like seeing the account balance go up $100 each month. Even though my money isn't earning as much interest in my bank account as it would be in Robinhood, I think for the purpose of the challenge, I'm going to keep my money in my bank account and not really use this Robinhood card for anything other than have it for aesthetic purposes or a cool talking point. So while I do feel like it's a cool concept, unless the interest rate goes up to like 1 or 2% annually, then I would consider transferring more money over to Robinhood. But for right now, I would like to keep my money in my FDIC insured bank account. But that's all I have for you today, guys. If you have your Robinhood Cash Management Card already, or you're still waiting on your card in the mail, leave a comment down below to let me know what you think about the Robinhood Cash Management Card or if you will be using it in the future anytime. Before I forget, if you have not signed up for Robinhood or WeBull already, there will be a link in the description where you can sign up and get 1 free stock. Me and you will get a free stock, and that will be a pretty cool way to allow you to kick off your investing journey. If you enjoyed this video, I would really appreciate it if you smash that like button and leave a comment down below, because any kind of engagement on my videos will allow me to boost up in the YouTube algorithm. And as a small YouTube channel, it is really hard to get the content out to more people, and I'm just trying to provide as much value as I can to the most people I can provide it to. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and until next time, guys, peace.